let's delve into the ANC Lekgotla discussions ahead of the Cabinet Lekgotla. So this is part of setting the tone for the State of the Nation address that is going to be happening on the 6th of February. Good to have him in studio with us again, SABC News reporter Samkele Maseko, to give us a little bit more on what to expect coming out of this Cabinet Lekgotla. Good to see you, and thanks for coming in again.
No, thank you very much, Leah. It's not a problem.
So, of course, I mean, there is so much to discuss, and I suppose, and there's no way we can't begin with the big story that we saw developing yesterday, and that, of course, was the President signing the Expropriation Bill now into law. And as we've been reporting, this could be the most contentious part of the GNU that we've seen taking place. Talk to us. I imagine that'll top the discussions.
It will definitely top the discussions, particularly looking at the divisions that are there within the Public Works Ministry between the Deputy Minister, Sihlezi Galala, who issued a statement last night welcoming the President signing the Expropriation Bill. Then you've got Dean McPherson from the Democratic Alliance. They are opposed to this particular bill, which is now an act of law that the President signed yesterday evening, and that will essentially test the government of national unity, but it will also embolden the ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa going into the ANC Lekgotla this weekend, going into the Cabinet Lekgotla next week, Wednesday and Thursday. That will essentially be deliberated upon, and knowing the divisions that are there within Public Works, which Public Works will essentially have to implement this particular act of law now when it comes to expropriating land in the interest of public interest within the country. For instance, if they need to build houses in a specific area and they need to expropriate that particular land, the Department of Public Works will have to spearhead that particular act in expropriating that particular land. But essentially the president of the ANC is also now preparing for the ANC's National General Council, which is a midterm review since the election of the National Executive Committee in 2022 at Nasrec. With him implementing these particular ANC policies, he's implemented the Bella Bill, he's implemented NHI, he's now implemented the Expropriation Bill, which pretty much puts him on par with other presidents of the African National Congress and just gives him a beachhead above them in implementing policies of the African National Congress. But interestingly, I read a piece where someone was writing that these particular bills were ramped up in the last administration, so that when the ANC should dip under 50% within this particular administration, these particular bills just need the signature of the president of the country, Cyril Ramaphosa, which essentially gives the ANC that leverage over other political parties when it comes to the implementation of their policies.
Yeah, politics, always never as it seems, is it? So, yeah, a nice look into that one, which is exceptionally interesting. But at the heart of it all, one would imagine that the economy is going to come under a big discussion and scrutiny point there at the NEC, because that's the biggest problem. Grow this economy, create jobs, all of the things that we've been screaming and shouting about, and things that certainly hurt the ANC in these last elections.
It will be definitely a discussion point, knowing that the Minister of Finance, Ino Kotongwane, will just be coming back from the World Economic Forum alongside the Minister of Electricity and Energy within the country. That would be Dr. Kgosientsho Ramokgopa, and other ministers, and the Digital Communications Ministry as well, Mundli Kungubele. They will be coming back from WEF. It will be a hot potato, knowing the changing environment of the workplace. Artificial intelligence is taking over the current global economy, and that will be something that the ANC's National Working Committee will delve upon. Particularly, you look at state-owned enterprises, the revival of the SOEs, particularly when you look at Transnet. Transnet is not performing at the capacity it used to perform at. Looking at the shortages that AXA is currently facing with jet fuel at the airport. The president, when he landed back from Davos himself, went through OR Tambo International Airport to speak to the staff there and just to check how the airport is currently operating on, and he checked on the jet fuel operations that's currently happening with that particular aspect. Even the Minister of Minerals and Petroleum yesterday, Gwede Mantashe, he touched on the issue, saying that Petro SA must come on board and stop being gatekept with the current bottlenecks that are there and the red tape that is there that prevents Petro SA from providing fuel to the current airports that are there within the country. At this point in time, Petro SA only provides jet fuel to two airports within the country, and not the other airports, and not OR Tambo International Airport, which is one of the biggest, or the biggest airport that we currently have within the country. So those are some of the issues that will be ventilated upon. And of course, the marvelous work that Dr. Kgosientsho Ramokgopa and Dan Morokane have been doing at the power utility Eskom, that will be ventilated upon. But the sticky issue is definitely going to be Public Works, it's going to be the public purse, and the municipalities are going to come under heavy scrutiny, where ANC NEC member and the Deputy Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Dixon Mosamula, will have to speak about the interventions that they are making with the IFP President Vulenkosini Khabisa, the Culture Minister, when it comes to the revival of these ministries. Water, critical
biggest
issue that will be deliberated upon. Phemema Chodina will come under a huge hammer in the National Executive Committee Lekgotla, particularly from the Northwest Province. Nono Maloi, the provincial chairperson, he's been very unhappy with the water provision, particularly of Magali's water and Rand water as well. That will see Johannesburg Mayor Dada Murero coming under fire for the failures of Joburg Water to provide water to the residents of the capital city.
Yeah. Big weekend for them, that certainly is. I mean, issues of municipalities, and that I think is what viewers want to know is going to be addressed, because this is affecting everybody's life, and particularly the whole provision of water. It's a great worry. Obviously, what's happening within KZN and Gauteng, as you were saying, we'll find out more about that on Monday, though. Samkele, thank you. Thanks so much for coming in and chatting to us, just to give us an inside glimpse as to what we can expect taking place at that ANC NEC Lekgotla discussion that'll be happening just before, of course, remember the State of the Nation address, the 6th of February. That's when the SONA is expected to happen. And then, of course, this is ahead of this meeting is ahead of a Cabinet Lekgotla that'll also be taking place.